top 9 lists just don't cut it for you and top 11 lists are just too long, then you have come to the right channel. What's up guys, my name is Danny Burt, welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. This is the channel where we take all kinds of weird and wonderful things from all around the world and put them into a nice little top 10 list so you don't have to. And today we've got the top 10 scariest amusement park accidents part 2. I love amusement parks, but I didn't when I was a kid. I used to think that every single roller coaster was going to throw me off and kill me, and yeah, obviously I don't know that anymore. Obviously we all know they're safe. Most of the time. Yeah, that's right guys, the chances of anything actually bad happening are so low that you might as well just ignore it, but they do happen, just like we covered in part 1 over here, and now we're back to part 2 because there's more of them, and we're going to jump right into our number 10, which is the Big Dipper. The Battersea Park was the most famous amusement park in the UK after it opened in 1951, and its most famous ride was the Big Dipper, a roller coaster that drew huge crowds. Everything went fine for the ride for almost 20 years until in 1972 a terrible accident occurred. One of the carriages detached on an incline and crashed off a bend. 2 teenage boys and an 8-year-old girl died at the scene, with 2 more children dying in hospital. It just goes to show that safety measures only work when they work all the time. As we move into our number 9, which is the water slide at Waterworld. A group of high school seniors were on an end of year school trip to Waterworld, California, when they decided to set a new school record for what they call clogging. Clogging involved getting as many people on the water slide at one time by each person stopping halfway down the slide, despite the rule of 1 person at a time. They got to 33 people on the slide at the same time before crack, the slide collapsed under their weight, killing one 17-year-old by crushing their chest. The remaining 32 students were brought to a hospital and 17 of them attended their graduation later that month in wheelchairs. They say that rules are meant to be broken, but sometimes rules are meant to stop you dying at amusement parks. Let's remember that guys as we jump into our number 8, which is Kings Island. Now death struck this park not just once but twice in the same day on June the 9th, 1991. First, a man fell into a pond, and when his 2 friends tried to jump in and save him, they were electrocuted by a nearby cable and killed. Amazingly, the man they were trying to save was the only one that survived. As if that wasn't enough for Kings Island, later on in the day, 32-year-old Candy Taylor fell from the Flight Commander ride and died instantly. They say lightning never strikes twice, but I guess accidents at amusement parks can. As we move into our number 7, which is the Gulliver's World theme park. In 2002, 15-year-old Salma Salim was visiting the Gulliver's World theme park in Warrington, England, when her and her mother went on a Ferris wheel there. Salma had Down syndrome and became distressed when she was separated from her mother by the ride operators because they thought she was too big to ride with her. As the Ferris wheel began, Salma tried to reach her mother by wriggling out of the safety bar, but ended up slipping and falling off the Ferris wheel 20 feet up in the air. She later died in hospital. Now neither Salma or her mother spoke English that well, and it appears that the language barrier between them and the ride operators were to blame for the tragedy that happened that day. So obviously communication and understanding can go a long way in preventing disasters at theme parks, but also not getting into a massive human-sized catapult. That can help, because that's our number 6. Now trebuchets were medieval catapults used to chuck massive rocks at enemy fortifications and destroy them. Someone had the bright idea of using humans instead of rocks at the Middlemore Water Park in Somerset, England, to create the human trebuchet ride, and it's exactly what you'd expect, humans getting flung into safety nets. Except one time in November 2002, when a 19-year-old Oxford University student was flung 30 meters through the air by the catapult and missed the safety net. He later died of his injuries. Wow. So from medieval warfare to modern warfare, now we've got the tragic tale of a soldier at the Darien Lake theme park in at number 5. James Hackemer was an Iraq war veteran who lost both his legs to an IED attack. In 2011, he visited Darien Lake theme park in New York with his family. He was riding on the Ride of Steel roller coaster at 50 miles an hour when he was ejected from the ride. He came out of his seat restraints and fell 150 feet to the ground. James wasn't wearing his prosthetic legs at the time, and it is thought that the operators ignored the rules posted at the ride's entrance, which requires that riders have both legs. Now obviously sometimes it can be the actual ride operator's fault that someone dies, but sometimes it can be the actual rider themselves, just like our number 4 at the Loudon Castle theme park. 18-year-old Mark Blackwood was a ride operator at Loudon Castle theme park in Scotland who was operating the Rat roller coaster for the very first time that day. He had received training a few hours before on how to supervise the ride and was left to himself. During his first shift on the Rat, one of the roller coaster cars stopped on the track. Mark walked out to give it a push, but ended up moving with it. He clung to the side, but as the cart rounded a sharp corner, Mark was thrown off. He later died in hospital due to severe brain injuries. We've reached number 3 now, guys, and it's a tragic event that took part at Utah's Lagoon Amusement Park. In 1989, a 6-year-old boy called Ryan was riding on a children's roller coaster called Puff the Little Fire Dragon. It was a low-speed ride that did multiple rounds of the track. As it came to a stop, Ryan began to climb out, but the 18-year-old operator, who was on her first weekend on the job, asked them all if they wanted to go round again. Without hesitation, she started the ride again. Ryan attempted to get back in the car as it rose up the incline, but fell out of the back and slipped through the tracks. As Ryan tried to climb back up through the tracks, the ride came around again and struck him dead on in the head. He was killed instantly. It's especially tragic when these things happen to kids. But anyway, guys, let's move on to our number 2 now, which is the Space Journey ride in China. This ride at the Eco Venture Valley of overseas Chinese town in Suzhou was designed to simulate the experience of a rocket launch by accelerating you and spinning you round and causing an extreme G-force effect on you. You spin around and around under a dome with a screen that stimulates a starry night sky. One day though, something went very wrong. The local government were accused of failing to explain what happened, but local media spoke to some eyewitnesses who said there was an explosion and one of the ride's carts broke off and fell to the ground. The cart hit the side of the dome the ride was in and smashed 12 meters to the floor with more than 40 people inside. 6 people were killed and 10 were injured. Alright guys, so we've covered accidents that happened on water slides, medieval catapults and even space rockets, but our number 1 was a ride that didn't even move at all. It's the Haunted Castle. The Haunted Castle was an attraction at Six Flags in Jackson Township, New Jersey, USA. One day on May the 11th, 1984, as guests were walking around and enjoying being frightened, the whole thing caught fire. It spread quickly and was not helped by the fact that the building had no sprinklers because it was classed as a temporary structure. Although most people managed to escape the blaze, 8 teenagers were trapped inside and burnt to death. It turned out the fire was caused after 2 teenagers used a lighter to light their way through the castle after one of the lights broke. Alright guys, so that was our top 10 scariest amusement park accidents part 2. If you enjoyed that, then you're going to love part 1 floating up here, so give that a click. Let me know which one was your favourite in the comments down below. Also let us know what you want to see next on Most Amazing Top 10. We are listening to your suggestions and we're turning them into videos just like this one. Alright guys, thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the videos we have on this channel. We're doing 1 a day for you, so you can't afford to miss out. There's 2 floating over there right now if you want to give them a click. In the meantime, my name's Danny Burt. Thanks for watching Most Amazing Top 10, and I'll see you very soon.